Hello everyone, tonight on our program, economy grows by 6.6% ending third quarter of this year according to the Ghana Statistical Service, the highest since 2019.
Specifically with the third quarter 2020 standing at 40,440.3 million, increasing by about 3,000 million to 43,093.5 million for the third quarter of 2021.
Online forex trading experts call for the platform to be regulated. We'll hear how the trading platforms could help in generating revenue for government.
There is a paradigm shift. The African continent is wide awake, aware and strategically changing the poverty narrative through the insurgence of digitalization, technology, innovation on the financial market.
Also tonight, Ministry of Works and Housing making moves to properly regulate building and construction sector. We hear what is in the works.
Recently, the Ministry of Works and Housing has advanced with processes to review the building regulations. The Rent Act, that is Act 1963-220.
It's great to be with you tonight. My name is Darryl Kwa. We will have details of those stories and others coming up in this half hour of business news. First up, Ghana's economy witnessed significant growth in the third quarter of this year in terms of gross domestic product. Data released by the Ghana Statistical Service showed it recorded a 6.6% growth over the same period last year. It is the highest since third quarter of 2019. Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobne-Nim has been given reasons for the growth.
In looking at it from both an oil and a non-oil perspective, we see an increase of 6.6 percentage point between the third quarter 2020 and the third quarter 2021, specifically with the third quarter 2020 standing at 40,440.3 million, increasing by about 3,000 million to 43,093.5 million for the third quarter of 2021. From a non-oil perspective, we see also about a 3,000 million change between the third quarter 2020 and the third quarter 2021. Specifically with the third quarter 2020 being 36,823.7 million and the third quarter of 2021 being 39,974.4 million, indicating about 3,000 million change between the third quarter 2020 and the third quarter 2021. The 6.6 percentage growth rate that we've recorded for the third quarter of 2021 is about the closest that we've got even in the 2020 period when COVID-19 was just to set in. Indeed, in the first quarter of 2020, just ahead of the COVID-19, GDP for the period that is between the first quarter of 2019 and the first quarter of 2020, GDP was 7.0%. So this is the first time that we've recorded GDP growth rates that are higher than the GDP growth rate that we recorded throughout the COVID-19 period and has even edged closer to the GDP growth rate that we recorded during the pre-COVID-19 era, keeping in mind that we did record about 9.0 growth rate in the first quarter of 2019.
Government statistician there, Professor Samuel Kobne-Nim. So in terms of how the various sectors performed, the services sector had the highest growth rate of 13.4%, followed by the agri sector with 9.2%. However, industry contracted by 2%, indicating non-growth in that sector. Well, partner and financial advisory leader Deloitte Ghana Yalati joins me to make sense of the latest figures. Great to have you tonight. 6.6% growth in third quarter, highest since 2019. That should be some good news as we end the year.
Yes, I think, thank you very much, Daryl, and good evening to you and your viewers as well as listeners. So it's a remarkable growth. If you look at the growth that has been recorded in the first 2 quarters of the year. So the first quarter growth was about 3.1%, and then the second quarter was 3.9%. So for us to record not a 4% or a 5%, but a 6.6% in the third quarter, that's a remarkable growth, given that some of the expected gains that we're looking at in some sectors were not realized. But then there were some windfall in other sectors. And I think if you look at that in the context of what we are targeting as the growth rate for 2021, this is a remarkable growth. We are expecting to end the year 2021 with a growth rate of 4.4% per the last budget that was released by government. So if you look at it on average, the first quarter growth of 3.1%, second quarter growth rate of 3.9%, and a third quarter growth rate of 6.6%, we have an average growth rate of 4.5% in the first 3 quarters of the year. And if we are targeting 4.4%, we are on course to exceeding our targeted GDP growth rate of 4.4% in the year 2021. So that's a remarkable growth.
Yeah, which is some good news. But industry contracted by 2%. What's happening there?
That has always been the cause of one particular factor, which is the contraction in the mining sector. So we've had these challenges in the mining sector prior to COVID, and even during the COVID period. We had issues with the small-scale mining, and even the large-scale mining have all resorted to what we call care and maintenance, because you can't predict the price of metals in the midst of pandemic. The only price or metal that has remained stable is gold. And so if you look at it broadly, the production of gold has not gone up significantly because we had challenges with COVID. And even with Omicron that we're having to battle with, some of these mining companies are going to continue the care and maintenance situation where they're still going to keep their staff at home and production is not going to continue. And so the contraction in the industry sector is mainly as a result of the contraction in the mining subsector, which we think that if we are not able to address the issue around COVID and the challenges that we are having in the small-scale mining sector, we're still going to have some contraction in the industry, in the mining subsector under the industry sector.
Quarter 4 is almost ended. I don't know what the figures will look like, but how do we sustain these gains?
Yeah, so I think if you look at the trend, there are about 2 or 3 subsectors that are driving the growth. So in the main sectors, we have agri and services sector, that sector that are driving the growth. So under the agri sector, it is crop and then fishing. So if we have some policies that are going to drive demand and production of crops and the fishing subsector, we will succeed in gaining or even exceeding our target growth in the agri sector. Secondly, in the service sector, we have 2 main subsectors that are driving this growth. And it is information, communication, and technology subsectors, and the restaurant and hotel sectors. So you realize that compared to 2020, these sectors were heavily hit by the pandemic. So we recorded a contraction. Now that with COVID and we are gradually recovering from COVID, the information communication subsector is actually the driver of the economy now and the driver of most activities in the business sector. And so you realize that all the conversation around stuff like e-levy and all of that is because of a remarkable growth that has been recorded in information, communication, and technology subsectors. So if you have some policies that will enhance activities and support business that operate in the ICT sector, it will help us sustain this growth. The same way, if you are going to support the business that operates in the hotel and restaurant subsectors, we are going to sustain this growth. So I think government should look at these subsectors. Agri, you look at fishing and crop subsectors, and then in the service sector, you should also look at the restaurants and hotel subsectors as well as ICT subsectors of the services sector.
All right.
We will sustain this growth and even exceed our targets.
A final question. We're excited because, I mean, this sort of signal that we're coming out of whatever the pandemic did to us, but we now have to deal with Omicron. We've seen what is happening in the West, where countries are going back to a lockdown. So it makes you wonder, are we really out of the woods yet?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. There's a flip side to it. So the good side of it is that largely Omicron is infectious but not as deadly. So we know that the infection rate is very high, but it's not as deadly. So with the right strategies and with the right COVID protocols being observed, we can still get around it, still be able to sustain the growth rate and still have our business activities in the midst of the Omicron. I think that's what we should aim at, just making sure that we still be able to meet our target vaccination rates. We still insist on people observing the COVID protocols. And I think we will still be able to achieve our target as we have set.
That sounds really positive. Thanks very much indeed, Yaolate, partner at Deloitte. And Merry Christmas to you, just in case you don't talk before the year ends. Let's move on now. As government devises strategies to meet its revenue targets, including the controversial e-levy, there may be other areas to consider. Online forex trading experts are pushing for regulation of trading activities. They say other countries are cashing in on value and volumes of transactions happening on such platforms. There's more from the African Financial Traders Awards.
According to the expert, about $2 million in financial transactions from the country are taking place on various FX platforms that are untraceable because they do not use the regular banking system, but a regulated national platform will be a game changer. Speaking at the African Financial Awards, the founder of the Women in Forex Trading Ghana, Gifty Anosika, indicated that the absence of an FX regulation and a local trading platform for that matter means that the state is losing a lot of revenue to other countries with these systems in place.
There is a paradigm shift. The African continent is wide awake, aware and strategically changing the poverty narrative through the insurgence of digitalization, technology, innovation on the financial market. Many thanks to the African Financial Traders Organization led by Mrs. Alice Floratini.
The African Financial Traders Awards is aimed at honoring institutions and personalities who've had exceptional impact on the financial front in forex and digital trading. In all, 35 individuals and institutions were honored at this year's award from 8 categories, including the Financial Market Broker of the Year and the Emerging Financial Technology of the Year.
The Ministry of Works and Housing says it is putting together a comprehensive policy framework to regulate the sector. According to the Deputy Minister, government is committed to providing the requisite support to the sector to thrive and achieve its full potential in the bid to grow the economy. He spoke at the official opening of H&M Manufacturing Limited to provide services to the built industry. Here's more.
As ministry responsible for the building and construction industry, the Ministry of Works and Housing says plans are far advanced to review laws governing the sector. According to the Deputy Minister, Abdullahi Abanga, this has become imperative to improve the building and construction sector's market offering.
Currently, the Ministry of Works and Housing has advanced with processes to review the building regulations, the Rent Act, that is Act 1963-220, the Architect Act, and also to pass the Condominium Bill and the National Housing Authority Bill. Board for the Real Estate Agency has also been constituted, and processes have been started for the establishment of the Real Estate Agency, which will regulate real estate agency practice, commercial transactions in real estate, including the sale, purchases, rental, and leasing of real estate and related fixed assets.
Originally established in 2011 as a startup, H&M Manufacturing's official opening seeks to provide services to the built industry in Ghana. It is a trading company that occupies a prominent position in the construction marketplace in the country. Now Vanderpoy is the marketing manager at H&M Manufacturing.
Our customers, they buy from us, they make the furniture, but the quality wasn't up to standard. We have these beautiful imported raw materials, but the quality was not up to standard. So for us, it was the most logical step to then start with a manufacturing company. Also, we have noticed that a lot of companies, let's say the real estates, hotels, they import their kitchens, their furnitures from abroad. you know, it's cumbersome. It's very complicated. If, let's say, you have a child who damaged your kitchen cabinet or something, you have to wait weeks before you can get that extra part. And you know, it's possible for it to be made in Ghana. So we started looking at options as to how can we start something like this in Ghana. And but as a company, you know, we are focused on quality. Quality is very important to us.
You're watching Business Live. Still to come, addressing the high unemployment rate, we meet the team behind the platform cityworkhub.com, which is connecting job seekers with employers. That's on tonight's episode of the Joy Business Van. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Business Live. The high rate of unemployment has dominated the news this year. The situation has been made worse by the COVID-19 pandemic, which caused some job losses. Well, this got a group of young people thinking. The result, a platform which connects job seekers with employers. Tonight on the Joy Business Van, we head to meet Francis Akori and his team, who are spearheading cityworkhub.com.
And the next thing is marketing. We need to go commercial as well as the various online platforms, Google to be precise, and also one-on-one on employers for them to kind of use our system. That is the only way our freelancers can also get something to do at the end of the day. So we need to come up with a strong marketing plan to have employers on board, because without them, our freelancers have nothing to do.
Francis Akori and his team discussed their next move after launching the Citywork Hub platform created to help job seekers connect with employers.
Looking at the vast unemployment in the country, I feel like there are so many professionals out there who are not gainfully employed, and there are so many projects to be done, just that they are not noticed because there are no accurate platform to put this project and then freelancers or professionals to bid for.
And it's true, Ghana is grappling with high unemployment. The COVID-19 pandemic has not made the situation any better. To help especially professionals who've lost their jobs during the pandemic, Francis, who is a BSc Computer Science graduate of the University of the People, California, launched cityworkhub.com.
So me being logged in as a freelancer, this is my dashboard. So you can see me there and various areas of my dashboard. I can see all the proposals I sent the days gone by. I can see all the things I saved, my pending balance, as in the project that I'm working on that I'm not done with yet. It will appear there as pending balance. Once I'm done with it, it becomes available balance for me to withdraw.
cityworkhub.com is pretty an easy platform to navigate. It is open to all professionals, referred to as freelancers, who bid for various job contracts, off-site and on-site, from employers enrolled on the platform. They also have the opportunity to market their services.
Should I have sent a proposal, it will be here. If it is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it will all line up here for me. So if I click it, I get to see every proposal within the proposal bracket that I've sent within a speed of time. So these are some of the proposals that I sent, and only one has been completed. The rest are pending. And coming here is the invoices, that's the money I made in the system, and I had the invoices. I can print it out, I can download it for my personal use.
Employers can also view profiles of freelancers on the platform and employ them on a permanent basis.
All their portfolios are in the system. Their ratings, their customers criticizing them, everything is in the system. So you can see a profile of, you can have a look at a profile of a freelancer and whether this freelancer is eligible for me to give the project to or not. So you are not just giving a project to someone you don't know. You've already seen their work done. You've already seen their approvals and stuff like that. So you are confident that if I give the project to me in no time. These days, it's not about working hard, it's about working smart. So with this, you don't even have to have a monthly employment. You can be at the comfort of your home, bid for contracts every month. Hopefully you get a lot coming your way. Here, for example, let's say I'm a graphic designer. For example, I'm a graphic designer at company A, and I'm paid 1,000 cedis at the end of the month. And I'm also a freelance in this system as a part-time. And in a space of a month, I got 3 logos to design, and each is probably paying me 400 cedis. At the end of the month, I'm probably earning more than my monthly salary.
Feedback so far has been good. The immediate goal for Francis and his team is to get more employers and freelancers onto the platform, but they require partnerships and funding to keep the platform going.
It will be a great joy to us if at the end of the day we have masses having to work from home or to have the liberty to work for themselves. And that alone gives us the courage and the enthusiasm to move forward with us.
And hopefully some respite for job seekers. That's our program tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. There's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. You can read more about the latest GDP figures. Economy expanding by 6.6% in Q3. Also, some great news. Soil Research Institute advocates fertilizers to increase maize yields. All those stories there on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Darryl Powell. Thanks for watching. We'll see you same time tomorrow.